This lesson is on the surface area of prisms and cylinders. So our learning target, I will be able to find the surface area of a prism or a cylinder. Now, surface area is just that area that if you were to take a box or take a soup can, and wrap it up in wrapping paper, that would be the surface area, okay? Or if you took paint and you wanted to paint all the outside surfaces of a bookcase, that would be surface area. Don't get that confused with volume, which is how much something is capacity inside of a container. So let's look at surface area. Let's look at these pictures. So pretty similar to the pictures that we looked at. I think they're exactly the same of what we looked at for volume. So again, this is a cylinder and this is a prism. We know the difference that a cylinder has a circular base. Okay, so the base is a circle and the prism has some sort of polygon. So in this case, it's a pentagonal prism because it is a pentagon on the base here. So the surface area, if I were to take this cylinder and take one base and take the other base, and if I were to cut down this the outside there and lay it flat, it actually would be a rectangle. So really what I'm finding when I do surface area is I'm finding the area of this circle plus the area of this rectangle plus the area of this circle. Okay. Over here in the prism, I have two pentagon bases. And then I have five rectangular congruent faces, so that those lateral faces. So when I'm finding the surface area of a prism, I'm taking the area of the bases plus the area of all the faces and adding them together. But it's way easier to use a formula than to find the area of each of these and add them together and maybe miss one or forget one. So the formula that we're going to use is S for surface area. So that's a capital S. If you wanted to use some books, some places you will see a large T instead of an S. It's the same thing. So total surface area or surface area is equal to the perimeter of the base. So that P is the perimeter of the base times the H. And remember that H is this H. It's a special H. It's this height right here. It's that distance. Oops, that's not a D, that's a B. The distance between the bases. Okay, we talked about that when we talked about it in volume. So that would be over here, it would be that altitude. Remember, it has to be that 90 degrees. Okay, so we're looking for that 90-degree altitude height. So that this H right here is that distance between the bases. Okay, plus 2 times the big B. And remember that big B is that area of the base. So we have two areas. We have two bases. So here's base 1 and here's base 2. Here's base 1 and here's base 2. So what's happening here is that you're taking this perimeter, and in the circle's case, it will be a circumference, and we'll talk about that in an example, and you're multiplying it by that height or that distance between the bases, and then you're adding to it the area of those two bases. Okay, so I'm going to write in here too the distance between bases. Okay, so that's a bad between. Okay, so we will look at a few examples, but this is that general idea, and this is that formula that you will use. So please make sure that you have that written down clearly.